Hey, howdy, hey, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I had a request to do a list of Drag Race queens so I could see doing well on Dragula. So for today's video, I'm going to be listing off some queens from Drag Race who I could see doing well on Dragula. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to like this video, comment down below what you think of these queens and who you think could do well on Dragula, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Loop. Alright. So, I went ahead and made a list of Drag Race queens who I think could do well in Dragula. Obviously, these are all my own views, my own opinions. I don't think any of them would do it, and I also don't necessarily think Dragula would want them on the show, if I'm being honest with you guys. Just with, I'm not quite sure the Drag Race aesthetic fits well with the Dragula aesthetic, if that makes sense. I feel like Dragula is much more inclusive, and Drag Race tends to be a bit hyper-focused on one category of drag, if I'm being honest with you guys about things here. So, that's why this list is a bit hopeful, but we'll see. Well, let's get into it. Alright, first, one queen who I think could do actually pretty well, and honestly I could see potentially being on the show, because it's been a long time since they were on Drag Race, and I think they've kind of faded out from the Drag Race world a little bit, would be the Princess. Picture here. The Princess was on Drag Race season 4, and the Princess always to me seemed like a sort of alt form of drag on Drag Race, like they had an alternative form of drag on Drag Race. So to me, it makes sense that the Princess could do well on Dragula. I don't know if the Princess would audition for Dragula, or if the Boulet brothers would even allow the Princess on the show. But in my head, it makes sense that the Princess could do well on Dragula, potentially. Next, I have Acid Betty. Picture here. Acid Betty was on Drag Race season 8 and has a very cool aesthetic, very cool makeup, very cool costumes, all above. And for that reason, I think Acid Betty could do well on Dragula. Also, just sort of gives me the punk vibes that Dragula has. So to me, it makes sense that Acid Betty could do well on Dragula. But, again, I don't know if any of this could ever happen. So, that's why I'm putting that disclaimer in front of everyone. Next, I have Jeremy. Picture here. Jeremy, formerly known as Fifi O'Hara, who was on Drag Race and then has not had a good experience on Drag Race and is doing their own thing. I love Jeremy. I think Jeremy would do super well on Dragula. However, Jeremy was also a judge on Dragula, so I don't necessarily think that they would do Dragula after being a judge on Dragula, if that makes sense. But if they did, I think they would do really well. So that's why I have Jeremy on this list. Next, I have Alaska. Picture here. Alaska just has this sort of fun sense of style and fun sense of humor. Kind of similar vibes to Meatball in a way a little bit. I don't know, maybe that's just me. So I could see Alaska doing well on Dragula. Again, Alaska also won Drag Race, so I don't think Alaska would ever really go on Dragula, and also was a judge on Dragula, actually. So for lots of reasons, I don't think Alaska would ever do it, but if Alaska were to do it, Alaska would do very well, I think, on Dragula. Next, this one is not going to come as a shocker to anyone. I mean, like, it makes sense, like, their aesthetic fits with Dragula would be Aiden Zane. Picture here. Aiden Zane was on season 12, obviously, of Drag Race. And I think everyone kind of would assume that I would put Aiden on this list. But another reason I put Aiden on this list is actually Aiden has a relation to Saint from Dragula. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that Aiden would potentially do Dragula. I don't think Aiden would. But hypothetically, I think Aiden could do well on Dragula if Aiden were to go on Dragula. So, that's why I have Aiden on this list. Next, I have Honey Davenport. Picture here. I put Honey Davenport because Honey Davenport is actually in a relationship with one of the ghouls from Dragula, Loris, as we saw in Dragula Resurrection. So, I mean, it makes sense that Honey Davenport would potentially go on Dragula. I don't think she will. But if Honey Davenport were to go on Dragula, I think Honey Davenport would do well. I definitely like Honey Davenport a lot. But, again, I don't think this will happen. So, again, like I said, take all these with a grain of salt. Next, I have Rocka Sakura. Picture here. I put Rock on this list just because Rock has a very cool makeup style. Again, I tend to favor people with cool makeup styles, and I think they would do well on Dragula for that. I know Rocka did a tour with Erica Clash from Dragula. So, I mean, Rocka probably is already familiar with some of the ideas of Dragula. So, maybe, hypothetically, Rocka Sakura would do well on Dragula, if that makes sense. Using my brain there and kind of doing some things there, but maybe. Who knows? Next, I have Layla McQueen. Picture here. Layla, to me, represents some alt form of drag as well. And also just gorgeous, gorgeous makeup. I really did just favor people with really good makeup. But, I think, Layla could do really, really well on Dragula. However, I think Layla would probably do a Drag Race All-Stars before Dragula. So I don't think that would happen. Again, like I said, with all of these, I don't think any of these will happen. Just because the Boulet brothers in Drag Race don't exactly see eye to eye, is what I'm trying to say, really. So I don't necessarily think any of these could actually happen. But, who knows? Next, I have Evie Oddly. Picture here. I put Evie on this list because Evie has some really cool costumes and really, again, another alt form of drag in a way. Because Evie does things that, like, most drag queens on Drag Race wouldn't do. Evie likes to shock people. Evie likes to surprise people and scare them. So I think Evie could do really well on Dragula. But, again, same as all of them, I don't think the Boulet brothers would want Evie on the cast. I don't know. And finally, I have Katya. Picture here. I put Katya on this list because Katya just has a really weird sense of humor and really strange. Like, Katya's only can be Katya, you know? Like, Katya has such a specific vibe to her that, like, no one else can replicate, and which, to me, I think is something that Dragula would really vibe well with. And again, same as everyone else, I don't think this would ever happen. But, you know, who knows? Maybe one day they'll cast the princess. Who knows? I think it'd be cool if they did. Again, like I said over and over, it probably won't, but who knows? So that was my list. If there's anybody who you think would do well on Dragula, definitely comment down below. I am also going to be doing a video later at some point of Dragula monsters who I think would do well on Drag Race. So, definitely keep an eye out for that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Drag Race videos. And also comment down below if there's any sort of Drag Race videos you want to see me make. I'm open to whatever. If you see, like, I love getting your ideas, getting your thoughts, and hearing what you want to see. So, I will definitely do more content for you guys. Make sure, like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share all over the social medias. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another video. Bye, guys.